Hey fandom, this is me, Aaron, for a comic show. I'm a day late, it's Wednesday, it might be a book short, and I was remodeling my store. I got rid of all my shelves, had slat wall put up, have racks put up, scraped all the floor, which had like paint, crappy paint over like glue from carpet, and it took days, and I had a lot of help, so thank you everyone. And then we put this awesome paint on it, looks so great, so thank you. And thank you everyone that's contributed to the Indiegogo because we're doing this stuff. It's awesome. There was an article on Bleeding Cool that I wrote about it. It was pretty funny. So yeah, great times. I've been drinking and it's Wednesday and I have a lot of cool comics to talk about. Here is my favorite comic of the week, and it's a weird one. It's a one-shot called That's Because You're a Robot. And it's written by, I can't even pronounce this, David Quantick. He is a comedy writer. He writes for the show Veep on HBO, which I watch because I have HBO Go. So I essentially watch almost everything on there because it's free, and I feel like, I feel like a badass. I feel like, I'm a rich person. I can just watch girls, on demand. Yeah, that's me, whatever. But anyway, That's Because You're a Robot. It's a one-shot. It starts with these two cops. First page, it says, the chief's like, one of you's a robot, we don't know which one, so damn it. And that's how it starts. And they keep thinking the other one's a robot. And it's like, well, I know I'm not a robot because I don't feel like a robot. And the other cop says, well, you're probably a robot because you don't feel anything, as robots don't feel. And then that cop says, well, I know I'm not a robot because I'm a Jew. And it's like, you could be a Jewish robot. What are you, racist? And it just gets hilarious from there. I love it. It's a one-shot. In fact, I hope they make more. I hope this guy writes more stuff because it was a great comic. And I laughed my ass off. So, fun. Bravest Warriors, Impossibear. Kaboom, you guys rock. You make me feel like a kid again. I liked Cat Dog. I liked Puppy Cat. Bravest Warriors is awesome. And this is a great one-shot. The Impossibear was fun. So, if you're reading Bravest Warriors, get it, obviously. If you were thinking about ever possibly reading Bravest Warriors, this is a one-shot of Impossibear. He's that little bear rainbow with the mustache. Get that. Get it. It's a one-shot. If you don't like it, oh well. If you do like it, cool. Now you know that you like it without buying the Volume 1 of Bravest Warriors and not liking it possibly. So anyway, moving on. Valiant Armor Hunters. This is Robert Venditti. And it's Exo Man of War, and this is their big crossover thing. And I'm not holding the chrome cover because that would really be a ridiculous glare. But you guys know how much I love Valiant. And I think I love it more than some of my customers because I have like crap ton of it on my shelves. The collections sell really well, but seriously, the single issues should sell better, and here's why. Because it's consistent. It's always on time. It's always high quality. And Armor Hunters is really good, and it's my kind of crossover where it's organically built towards. I just have a bias against these crossovers that Marvel's the main culprit, where it's like, oh, it's the summer, here's your crossover, and it didn't build towards it for months and months of this slow burn like Jeff Johns did leading into Blackest Night. So anyway, if you are reading Valiant, you're loving this book. If you're not reading Valiant, I think you should check it out, seriously. So, because I assume you like good comics. Moving on. Walking Dead, we have 127, A New Beginning. This is the second print that Image was awesome to do and gave us a great discount for ordering it heavy. And the new issue, 128, are both out this week, which is brilliant, like literally brilliant. And there's maybe I spoiled it a little bit last time by saying that there was a 2-year gap between All Out War and this, but to me that's just kind of like the premise. There's a new storyline, there's a new collection. Every time there's a new show, a new season of a TV show, there's some time jump. There is. I mean, think about the shows you like. Think about Mad Men, think about Breaking Bad, whatever. There's a time jump. And there's a time jump here. And they've rebuilt this nice society. Rick actually had the opportunity to rebuild society some, like he's always muttering about, and he even made himself like one of those hook arm things, or found it, or whatever. So he just doesn't have to walk around with this little like scar stub, whatever. Spoiler: Rick loses his hand. Yeah, whatever. That happened a long time ago. Anyway, it was the governor. He did it. This is cool. I'm so glad the time jumped because I wouldn't want to read 2 years of everything working out. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine reading 2 years of Walking Dead coming out monthly where everything just works out, nobody dies? It doesn't seem like anyone died in those 2 years. That would be boring. It wouldn't be The Walking Dead. It would be like, things are looking up, whatever. So now I like this. I love this issue. For some reason, I just love the interpersonal drama. Like, that's what I like. He does mix in zombies even in this issue, but I'm loving it. I'm so glad they jumped. It wouldn't fit the tone of the book if they had 2 years of peace and tranquility and everything working out. No, thank you. Thank you for the jump, Robert Kirkman. You are the man. I hope to see you at San Diego Comic-Con, and I will kiss your ass because you are awesome. And United States of Murder, Inc., from the creators of Powers, Brian Michael Bendis. I'm really digging it. It's where the United States let organized crime have a lot of states, and the federal government kind of reduced themselves. So in the first issue, we saw that the Northeast is all run by the mob, and it's not the United States. It's the United States of Murder, I guess. And the Twin Towers are still there, so they did that right. And in this issue, we see what event in history actually triggered this thing with the mob taking over a lot of states. And I'm not going to spoil that, but it makes sense, and it's awesome, and I like Brian Michael Bendis. Moving on to DC. We got 3 covers of these bombshells. These bombshell covers are cool. They're really greatly composed. They're really pretty, and they all use female characters of the DC universe in redesigned costumes that look like pinup era type stuff. And I dig it. And I saw this article on, I think, CBR where it was, critiquing it. And I wanted to disagree with the article because, you read a headline, and the headlines are always like so outrageous to get you to click on it because, newsflash, they make money when you click on stuff because of ads. But anyway, I clicked on it and I was like, whatever, this stuff is pretty and cool and neat, and, what's wrong with you? And I ended up agreeing with the article, like, wholeheartedly, because their point wasn't that these are sexist. Their point wasn't that this is ill-conceived or, not beautiful art. Their point was, why does it always all have to be the female characters? I want some beefcake with my cheesecake, thank you very much. I sell to tons of gay guys and tons of women. And I know that it's a nostalgic throwback. I get that. It's a nostalgic throwback to this era where it was pinups for the troops, and the troops were all men, blah, 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 blah. But when we do nostalgia in these enlightened times, we incorporate our sensibilities. We don't have like a 50s diners where black people can't come in, right? Okay, so seriously, you should have had some male cheesecake, and I expect to see that, next year. Now I'll talk about the content of the book. This was awesome. I'm loving Doomed. Doomed is fun. Uprising is great for Green Lantern. I like the big war. If you have a core, you have to have a war. You can't have all these crazy Green Lanterns and not have them have this unifying war thing. It's always been fun for me. I loved all that stuff, like Rand Thanagar War, Uprising. This is great stuff. Justice League United, I like Jeff Lemire bringing Animal Man here. His Animal Man run was brilliant. And I like that Animal Man's not just going into comic book limbo. He's actually part of this Justice League, which he's been part of the Justice League in the past with Justice League Europe. And Jeff Lemire is still shepherding him. And I like that his character, how he plays off of Green Arrow, is so perfect. Him and Green Arrow are so great. And you might have read the eulogy for Green Arrow by Animal Man in this issue, in this Future's End. He's creating a family with these characters, which is lost a lot with the Justice League, which is what I got with my Justice League International that I loved. You might say, how is that family? I thought the Titans were family. All they did was bust on each other all the time. My family, the people that I feel like are my family, we do that. We bust on each other. That's fine, You know how, like, you can bust on your sister, but if someone else busts on your sister, you're like, hey, man, step off? That's what that's like. That's what Justice League International is like. And Jeff Lemire is brilliant at family dynamics. All his best works involve family dynamics. You think of Essex County, you think of Sweet Tooth, and you think of Animal Man, where he was the only superhero that Dan DiDio let be married because, I don't know, maybe Dan DiDio had a nasty divorce or is unhappy in marriage, but he has this ultimatum. I'm just kidding, Dan DiDio, settle down, I like you. But he has this ultimatum where their characters can't be married except for Animal Man, and Jeff Lemire does a great job with married characters with family. And Justice League United, it's not just another Justice League book. This is Jeff Lemire crafting something that is going to be one of those things where you look back and say, man, I love Justice League United. They really had this magical dynamic like JLI did. Moving on to Future's End. 5 years later, really cool. Lois Lane, Tim Drake, Red Robin. This is awesome. And Red Robin has not even been in costume in the issues he's appeared in Future's End, and he's still been cooler than when he was in Teen Titans. It's just that badass. And him and Firestorm have a little scuffle, and it's great. I'm really digging Future's End. I like that it's weekly, and I like when you have this big cast, make it weekly. So even if we get like 20 pages of almost the 1-2 characters, you know it's weekly. So they don't have to like shift the camera to like, here's 2 pages of this character, here's 2 pages of this character, here's the update what these guys are doing, you know. It's weekly, so next week we're gonna get Batman Beyond. Seriously, I promise. Batman Beyond, more of it. This week we got like Homeless Man Beyond. It wasn't good. This Batman is great, weekly Eternal. You have the surprise character from the last issue that we found out who she was on the last page that I'm not gonna spoil, but more of that came. And Snyder and company, they're not holding it back. You know, we saw who that character is related to last issue on the last page. This, we see what the actual relation is, which is awesome. And we get to see this whole like weird animalistic thing where like Falcone is like Falcon, Penguin's obviously Penguin, Pig's Pig, Cat, Bat. All of these animals need to be flushed out of Gotham so the actual humans can reclaim their humanity and get rid of these animals. But it was a great issue. I'm digging it. Jason Todd's in it. Jason Todd has a great role. Next issue promises to be more Jason Todd and Batgirl, which is cool because if Nightwing is no longer around, if Dick is what he is after what they think he is after, I don't want to spoil it, but obviously they think Dick is dead, okay? Then Dick's not going to be interacting with Batgirl anymore, so throw Red Hood with her. I want to see that. I'm interested. Moving on to Marvel. Original Sins #1. I've already had all these people this morning like, I already have Original Sin 1. No, there's an S on the end. It's plural. I'm sorry, it's same trade dress. I know they did 15 million covers for Original Sin 1. I know you think you already have this book, but you don't have this book. This is Original Sins. It has an S on the end. And it's a mini-series of front story, back story, kind of short stories of sins, like origins and sins, different things that kind of fit the theme of Original Sin. I'm not sure if they actually tie into Original Sin, but they absolutely fit the theme. The first part is Deathlock, and it's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Deathlock. You know, the dude in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that is becoming Deathlock, it's him. And the backup story is Young Avengers with the Hood, which I loved because I love the Young Avengers and I have a soft spot for the Hood. And the final story, which is just a couple of pages, is Lockjaw, and it was very cute. Moving on, Original Sin Deadpool tie-in. You guys know how much I love Dazzler, Disco Dazzler, and name my daughter Allison Blair. And it's just so cool because you guys know that Mystique has replaced Dazzler in the current continuity. That Mystique Dazzler will not hang out with Deadpool and help Deadpool kill vampires for his new wife. I'm not making this up. So Deadpool gets Disco Dazzler from back in the 70s, so that 70s-ish, because Marvel timeline, so that she can turn hard light, sound into hard light, and thereby turn vampires into dust because the hard light is kind of like sunlight. And it works because it's Deadpool, and I really enjoyed it. So moving on, Learning to Crawl #2 came out, 1.2. Flash Thompson beating up Peter Parker. Dan Slott was born to write Spider-Man, and I like that he's doing this the first few months of Spider-Man here in the point system. It's kind of weird, but I like Learning to Crawl, and it's going to be very easy to sell in a collection. Right now, it's like, what is this 1.2 Amazing Spider-Man? I got 1 and 2. What's this? But it's good, and Dan Slott could write any Spider-Man, anytime, any era, anything. I would enjoy it, and I would sell it because Dan Slott is the man, and he gets Spider-Man. He gets the themes. He can make Peter Parker Spider-Man apply to Octavius. He gets the themes of Spider-Man probably because, like us, he grew up as an underdog, as a nerd, and now he has great power. He's writing Spider-Man, and he has great responsibility to deliver kick-ass stories, and he's doing it. Figment. I've been getting phone calls about this because I'm in Orlando. This is the theme park city. Figment is from, Epcot, and Marvel was bought by Disney. So they're doing a Figment comic. I enjoyed it. I liked it. When I was a little kid with Captain EO and all that stuff at, I'm talking like 1985. I was at Epcot, and I love Figment. I had a little stuffed Figment that my mom probably has in the attic at her house, But if you like Figment, if you like Disney, it's here. I ordered plenty of it. Jim Zub wrote it, so they got a writer that can really do this stuff. Check it out. And finally, Cullen Bunn, the man who's been doing these great miniseries for Deadpool, Night of the Living Deadpool. Why had this not been done in the history of Deadpool? Like, Cullen Bunn, what, was he in the shower, after watching Night of the Living Deadpool? And he's just like, yes. Like, you can imagine when he pitched this to Marvel, they're like, oh my God, here is a blank check, write this. It's Deadpool fighting zombies. He wakes up, and this is not a spoiler, this is the first page. He wakes up after having this chimichanga binge that he ate so much he went into a food coma. And while he was in the food coma, the zombie apocalypse happened. I'm serious. That's the first page. Read this. And Cullen Bunn is the man. I mentioned the Indiegogo, and this is relevant to mention it again, because he donated $100 to our Indiegogo, the tier for me to cover any book. I'll do a video on any book any creator or any fan wants me to do for $100, and I will put that book front and center in my store and give it priority treatment and push it. He bought that tier, and I was so thankful because I've loved this guy's work all the way back. We're in Missouri. I don't want to talk about Missouri, but I've loved his work forever, and I can't wait to promote whatever it is he wants me to promote because his stuff is awesome. So that's it, day late. Sorry, I haven't got any sleep. I remodeled my store. I'm drunk. I still think I nailed it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, comment, share it, all that good stuff. And if you're local, we have what we have, and the special stuff is this Thursday we're having some kind of E3 video game party, which will be pretty cool. I don't know if you've been noticing all the cool announcements from E3. There was a really cool Powers thing by Bendis. Friday is karaoke. Saturday we're doing booze and boards during the day, and then we're going to have a Cards Against Humanity contest, and the Game of Thrones finale. So good times, great week. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.